Welcome back to another exciting episode of the show that is not a show. It's a live stream. It's a happy hour. It's I have no idea what it is, you guys. It's it's an excuse to hang out together and have a drink, right? Welcome. Let's everybody jump on and tell me what it is that you are drinking, because that is half the fun of it, is to see what everybody's drinking. So, Marco's drinking a Peso with lime. That's fretboard, I believe. I will probably be drinking some of that later this week, probably on Cinco de Mayo. We'll talk about my plans for Cinco de Mayo in a little bit. Julia is drinking the Taft's UDF Milkshake IPA. I have not gotten to try that one yet. I still have not bought any yet. I am so far behind on everything, as usual, and so every time I go to the store, I end up filling up my allotment with a bunch of stuff that I haven't had yet, and that's probably my next trip. That one's going to be on there. I desperately tried to drink as much as I could this weekend to start working through the stock, but I didn't put much of a dent in. I did pretty good, but not as good as I wanted to. I'm going to dive into some 50 West. So this is their Paths Worn from their Farmhouse series. It is a wild farmhouse ale, dry hopped with Mosaic and Hallertau Blanc. They've got a neat little scale on the back here, if you can see that. I always forget that I need to fix my lighting so you can actually see bottles, or set up another, like a special bottle camera right here that I can just hold it in front of. That's actually probably what I'll end up doing, because that would be more fun. On the funk scale, it is not quite to the top, but pretty far up there. Low on the sour and light on the color. And that's pretty much all the details that they say on there, except for the government health warning. 5.8%. Nice and easy drinking. Let's see. Lee is drinking the Rheingeist Sunspun Shandy. And says loving the swag box. Yeah, I finally got some swag boxes out in the mail. Working on some other fun swag ideas if I can get it all figured out. Eventually, at some point, I have to make more money than I spend in a month, is what I'm learning. All right, let's give this a try. Yeah, light in color. It looks a little more orange for you guys on the camera just because of the backlighting that I've got here, but it is like a bright kind of yellowy touch of haze to it. Big white head on top. Julia says about the Taft's UDF milkshake beer, it is pretty sweet and very lactose heavy, but certainly tasty. Sorry, my microphone is driving me insane. I have a bunch of stuff tweaked on here from the last time I was recording somebody, and there, that sounds better. I get very used to what I'm supposed to sound like in my head, and if I don't sound that way, it really, really bothers me, evidently. So, all right, there we go. So yes, it's definitely funky. That good, like, almost fruity Brett aroma. A little bit of kind of barnyardy. Yes, it is time to grab a beer. You cannot sit and watch the show without some kind of a drink in front of you. I almost got booze. I have, I'm not going to, I will get to this. The last time I was down at Northern Row, their 5 Stories Spirits line, they have a gin. It's a dry hopped gin that I picked up that is just absolutely fantastic. And I've been wanting to drink some and haven't found the right situation in the last few weeks. And so when I was walking downstairs, I was just about to just grab a glass of ice to dump a bunch of gin into. But I didn't. I've got beer, which I'm going to drink. Oh, that's great. It's got a nice big bright kind of carbonation to it. And then that funk, that bready funk that, man, I know that there's a lot of people that say they like Brett, and then there's a lot of breweries that say nobody buys Brett beers, so they just don't make them. I freaking love it. So if you're a brewery and you're listening, make me some more Brett beers. And let's start there. The Brett IPA thing. I have some really, really, really killer Brett IPAs sitting in the cellar that are just so much fun because you get them fresh and you get that big, fresh hops that an IPA is known for. But then as it ages, I don't know if you can see that. It's Paths Worn from 50 West. Yeah, my lighting is terrible for. Here, let me try this. Let me pull this light from here and put it here. It's still overexposed a little bit. I would have to get on and whatever. We'll figure it out. I think a second camera is the real solution. You get that, that funkiness that starts to come out as a Brett IPA sits for a while, and it just complements the fruitiness of a lot of hops so freaking well. And like you can, that transition is really, really fun to taste. You get a 6-pack or a couple 6-packs and just stash them, and just every 6 months or so crack into one. Man, I love them. Julia says she has to be in the right mood for Brett beers, just can't drink them at random. I kind of agree with that. Like there's plenty of times where like I'll be kind of looking and trying to figure out what I want to drink, and if I see it, I'm like, I'm not in the mood for that, and I'll pass over it. But every time that I crack into one, I think to myself, my God, it's just so good. Similar to like a lot of big sour beers too. Like there's sometimes like, I'm just not really in the mood for that. But then as soon as I start drinking it, I quickly realize that I am, in fact, in the mood for it. So I don't know. I want more of them, and all of the places I feel like that have made these big bready beers locally have kind of stopped on us. I know that there's definitely some funk going on in Rheingeist's sour series, but off the top of my head, I guess I'm drinking 50 West, but these get released so kind of spotty. Like you can't count on a new release of them coming anytime soon. It's just kind of at the whim of the barrels, I guess, or at the whim. I don't even know if this is barrel aged, but no, I don't believe it is. At the whim of the brewers and I guess how good they sold beforehand. But I love them. Phone lines are open, just for the record. So if you want to call in, you can. If you don't know the phone number, it's really easy to remember: 567-70-DRINK. Or if you need to know the numbers, because I guess it's easier sometimes to actually know the numbers. 567-703-7465, and you can call right into the show, and we can pipe you right in and talk that way. Or you can just jump on the chat wherever you are listening to this or watching this. It all kind of compiles right here for everybody, so we can all hang out together and shoot the shit. So going back to Marco's drinking peso with lime. And I said I'm going to be drinking it on Cinco de Mayo. That is my next big interview, which I know some of you guys guessed who it was with. We have a call coming in, except it's not coming in to my phone. Hang on. we can fix this. Hello, who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Chris from March 1st. What's happening?
Howdy, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm just chilling at the warehouse. Got done picking some kegs and thought I literally logged into Facebook and you were giving the phone number, so I thought I'd call and chat.
Oh, yes. So, are you drinking a beer while you are wrapping up?
So the answer is the who's watching? Can you see all the viewers? The answer is yes.
I can't see all of them. I mean, I can see the people as they chat, but I can't see a list of everybody that's watching on
That's
different
all right.
platforms.
As long as there's no narcs, I definitely just finished one of those Lagunitas super clusters.
I saw that you were drinking one the other day and posted it on Instagram or something.
It was so good, and the Julian date thing for me is like such a game changer because I literally only shop by date. So I'm super excited about those.
I still just can't. So if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, on the last episode of Shift Beers, I think everybody that I know like is on here, frequently listens to both shows. The last episode, you guys had some Lagunitas beer. The date on it was strange. You guys called a number that was on the can. It's kind of a really long story. You have to just listen to the episode, but and in that you decoded these Julian dates, and I understand the Julian dating system, but I can't look at it and have any kind of understanding just looking at it where I'm at in the year.
So it's a weird thing. I just literally take what month it is, right, and just add 30 days.
Yeah.
For every month. So the super clusters that I have here, let me grab the can. The super cluster that I have has the following code on the bottom. It has 110, which means it was the 110th day of the year. 1, which is 2021, and then a number 2, which means it was made in Chicago and not California.
Right.
So today's like day 124. So that beer's like 14 days old.
Why in the world do breweries have to go through all of this chaos to date a can? Why can't they just put the date on it?
So I have the fig leaf blood orange isotrope in my right hand now, and it says 4/30/2021 in it because we're not trying to be all cryptic.
Yeah, I just don't understand why the need. I mean, maybe I guess it's less numbers, but come on, I don't know. It's a pain in the ass.
It all seems really silly to me that you wouldn't just put the date on there, but it is what it is. Maybe that's the way they tell time.
That's what I'm going to start like in the mornings, like when I get ready for work, like, all right, what Julian date is it today? Just in case I buy any beer so that I can recognize.
Try and sign a check like that. If you ever have to write a check ever again.
Who has to write a check?
Yeah, I guess that would be the harder part, is having to find a reason to write a check.
Well, I wrote a check not that long ago. I can't remember what it was for now. And I was laughing. I went upstairs because I had to come down and find where the checkbook is, sitting. And I went upstairs and I'm like, honey, this is, we've written 300 checks in our entire relationship.
Right. That's not very many checks.
No.
It's a weird thing because I have to think back to like that game on The Price is Right when I'm like, all right, how do they fill out a check? Like staying home sick with my grandma when I was a kid, watching The Price is Right, watching them fill out a check. That's how I learned practical skills,
Greg has jumped on Facebook and says that he doesn't think that they want people to be able to decode the date. I think there is some truth to that.
There's absolutely some truth to that. There totally is. But now, in the weird thing, let's expose them all. Let's put it out there. That's how you tell the date.
Some of them,
some
of them you can. There are some that you just can't. It's like some kind of internal code that they use.
There's a website somewhere.
No, I know what website you're talking about, and it does. There is, I can't remember which brewery it is, but there's some kind of lambic that I have stashed away in the cellar that I have no idea what any of the date codes mean on them. I just know kind of when I bought it, but I have no idea when any of them were bottled because the date's some kind of weird code that I've never been able to figure out.
I'd like to know who Julian is.
Wasn't it like Julius Caesar or something, and like it's his date?
Is that what that comes from?
I assume.
That can't be right.
I assume so.
I guess it could be. Holy cow! What a nightmare.
Who knows? I just use the calendar.
Right. Yeah. Today's definitely May 3rd. You know what that means tomorrow is, right?
Do what?
You know what today's May 3rd, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what
You
tomorrow
go ahead and say it.
I'm not gonna because I hate it, but the memes are coming.
Well, we are definitely talking about Cinco de Mayo in a second because that is the next holiday that I am excited for.
Who doesn't? One of my favorite ones in the world.
And then we definitely need to talk about a certain brewery that opened up. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
on this show, you're allowed to work there.
Right. That's right. Yeah. We just opened Woodburn last week. So come over and see us. We got some great beers on tap. We have a great cocktail program. You got to get down there and taste some of those because Giacomo has put together a cocktail menu that is unbelievable.
Yeah, there's some exciting things happening over there, and we'll dive into that a little bit here.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you later.
Well, thanks for calling in, buddy.
No problem. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Bye. So there we go. We'll talk about the Julian dating system. It is absurd. And I don't know if it's just been around for so long. Like maybe that was just the way it was done before, as far as breweries go, or I don't know. Like, just what's the point? It's got to be confusing for everybody. Unless it really makes it easier to figure. Here's my only argument for it. If you are in the brewery and you pick up a 6-pack, or somebody calls you about a batch or something, although that's a whole different thing because a batch number, you can easily tell exactly how many days ago that was made, because that numbering system is easier, where if it's just the date, you actually have to kind of get out a calendar and figure it out if you want an exact number. That's the only thing I can figure out. I don't know. All right. Justin wants to know what the scuttlebutt is about. It is about a Julian dating system on cans versus just putting the freaking date. Let's run through some beer labels before we dive into kind of Cinco de Mayo and the excitement around that for this week, and Woodburn, and let's see. Greg says, speaking of that other holiday tomorrow, did I see a local brewery has Darth Vader on their new beer? Did they land that license? So I think if I look at the label, let me see if I've got a good picture of the label here I can pull up real quick. I think they were pretty careful how they did it. It could also just be one of those cases where they know that they're just making this for a very short period of time. And if they get in trouble, they'll just stop making it. Let's see. Oh no, yeah, it definitely has Darth Vader on the label. Let me pull up the picture from their Twitter account. That's not a good shot of it. Here we go. This one shows it off pretty good. So yeah, there's definitely Darth Vader on there. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they did not land that license. Justin says hi, and that canned on date is important. It is a really great name for a beer. Exactly. Lee says it's easier to ask forgiveness than for permission. There is a huge problem, this goes without saying, in the craft beer industry of IP theft, intellectual property, and yeah, I mean, not that I have anything against TAFs and the things that they do, but this is definitely, it's definitely a good example of maybe putting something on that shouldn't be on there. Justin says, hopefully George Lucas isn't watching. Hopefully Disney isn't watching. George Lucas doesn't even own it anymore. And yeah, Disney can lay down the hammer if they decide to. But this is a beer that is, I assume, not making it very far outside of the area. I mean, I guess they are distributed all through Ohio, so it is a chance that it's going to be making it, all of Ohio. But out of all of the things that I've seen that get away with pushing that line a little bit, this is probably just another one of those that, hopefully the industry as a whole just kind of gives up on that whole thing. Greg says someone's head will be frozen. Oh, that's funny. There's a rumor, or I guess a legend, that Walt Disney had his head frozen when he died so that he could come back one day. I think his family says that is not true, but everyone's trying to get the Super Bowl tickets. All right. Justin says, I don't know. I'm not a Star Wars nerd. All right, let's run through some labels here. There's nothing too super exciting. I mean, got a bunch more fretboard stuff rolling through, which again is very strange to see this many coming through all at once like this. Excited to see what that means, though. Drummer Boy. This is their new one, that It's Your Thing. Has anybody tried this? I still am a little confused about this whole cold IPA thing that is happening. It's just like a dry hopped Kolsch, right? From what I'm understanding. I don't know. But they made one, and I'm curious. It sounds delicious. There it is, cold IPA. I love their artwork. Natty Dread. Again, we've seen all of these released already, so they're just not as fun as other things. Wah. Mitch says it only means I need to make some adjustments for TTB approval. So there was a lot that came through all at once, though, there, Mitch. What were the adjustments that were made on all these? Let's see. Mad Tree Search number 6. This is kind of their experimental IPA series. So far, all of them we've seen have been kind of just hazy IPAs, I think. I'd have to go back and double check that. But this one is a wild IPA. So I'm going back to kind of the earlier conversation about bread IPAs. This is a bread IPA. I actually did not plan that when I started talking about bread IPAs earlier because I hadn't actually looked at this. Yeah, bunch of different hops, some cryo hops, so it's going to be a little bit hazy probably. Got some oats in it, and some red wheat, and then IPA yeast and Brett yeast. So that's fun. Chris says that Tree Search is better than Cloud Harvest. That's a bold statement. When I did my video where I was trying to find the best, and I know that I didn't try them all. There is a part 2 coming at some point. Cloud Harvest was in there. Cloud Harvest 4, I think. I don't know. The last Cloud Harvest before this new one was in there, but there was not a Tree Search in there because there wasn't a fresh one sitting on shelves when I went to do the video. I would love to It wouldn't be fair to put this one in, though, either. So gotta wait for Tree Search number 7, maybe. But this new Cloud Harvest, if you haven't tried it, the Aitutaki or whatever, is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's the best one that they've done. So that's a bold statement is the point of that. What else do we have? More line rolling through. These are obviously the new beers that are out on shelves. Another one, we should talk about Moorline in a second, too, about Little Kings. Here's another Rheingeist, or a Rheingeist. I guess we didn't look at the Cloud Harvest. It's just in my head. Cherry Hyperdrive. This is, I guess, part of their Outer Reaches series, and then it's also, it's just Outer Reaches on draft. Imperial Creek with cherries, 10%. Sounds fantastic. Some artifact stuff. So this is paperweight. They're apricot, Midwest fruit tart. These are, I guess, the variants that you'll see. Amaretti cookie. So apricot plus almonds. Maleb, whatever that is. Cinnamon and vanilla beans. And then I think there's one more coming up. Key lime salsa. Sign me up for that. This is their Epicurean series. Here's the other one, spicy sauce. I'm not a big spicy beer fan. Every once in a while, one kind of catches me, and it's perfect, but usually just ruins the beer for me. West Side. I actually meant before this episode to go on and double-check the trademark on 513. I know Goose Island went and snatched a bunch up. And then obviously Sam Adams has a beer called 513. Nobody must, or it must not be trademarkable. There must be enough stuff out there that they can't trademark it. But really fun idea for a beer. I love the label. I love the skyline up in the top. 5 hops, 1 yeast, 3 different grains. 513. This is kind of their ode to Cincinnati. It says, to celebrate our fine city of Cincinnati, we brewed up this pale ale using 5 different hops, 1 yeast, 3 types of malted barley, pale orange with a white head. The use of Cascade, Centennial, Citra, Comet, and Columbus hops give balanced aromas and flavor notes. Grapefruit, citrus, piney dankness, lift 1, and toast to the Queen City. Oh, so they're jumping on 513 and lift 1. There's going to be 2 local breweries pissed off. I'm excited to get my hands on this one. It sounds delicious. Just giving you guys a little bit of shit. And that's it for this week. Some good stuff in there. Big fan of everything Westside has been doing. I really big fan, actually. The traditional side of beer has been ignored way too much in craft beer for far too long, and it's exciting to see not necessarily that people are getting like super traditional with stuff, but that they're finding a way to wrap traditional beers into this modern kind of world of craft beer. It would be easy to just create some kind of super traditional German beer hall kind of lager brewery, but to find ways to still make it where craft beer drinkers are happy and comfortable in addition to the lager nuts makes it really fun for me. Julia says she's looking forward to trying Westside's Kitchen Sink IPA when that comes out. I'm guessing that'll be draft only. It's draft only from what I understand, just from number one, not seeing a label come through, and then number two, in their email when they were talking about it, it sounded like it was going to be taproom only. So they made the Kitchen Sink IPA, for anybody that doesn't know. If you remember back to when you were in college and you would, make a casserole out of all the crap that was just kind of left in your fridge, the kitchen sink casserole is what we called it. It's kind of that. They just took all of the stuff that kind of had sitting around that they were wanting to use up, and made a beer out of it. So it's called Kitchen Sink IPA. So I'm curious to try that one. I'm curious to try everything, honestly. So this week, Cinco de Mayo, which is Wednesday, I think, is my Zane Lamprey interview. Finally, I've been trying to figure out how to do this for a very long time. And so he's finally going to be on both shows, I think. I think I'm going to push it out to all of my RSS feeds. So I'm excited about that. So I'll probably be drinking some, maybe some peso, or I might just, I might go margarita and just drink a margarita. Or just maybe tequila. I don't know. I'm really excited about that one. And then also this week, Thursday, I'm headed all the way out to Mount Oreb. We're going to finally sit down. I guess I haven't had them on the show. Going to sit down with the folks over at Sons of Toil. Really, really pumped for that one too. I feel like there are still far too few people that know what they're doing out there, because they're making some really great stuff. And I always find it interesting when there is a brewery in a place like that would do amazing even if they didn't have amazing beer. Then when they do, it fascinates me. I don't know why, but so I'm excited to get them on and kind of spread the word about them and who they are, so that people can kind of understand it and maybe get out there and go drink some beer. Let's see. After that, then I am Common Beer Company. I have that show rescheduled from I don't know, a week or two ago. We had to bump that one around. I'm making a quick trip up to Columbus in a couple weeks, and I'm gonna hopefully do some video stuff up there while I'm up there, just hanging out with some friends and drinking some beer. I have a show tentatively scheduled that next week, so like middle of the month or so, out at Dysfunctional Delights Meadery. I've never been out there, and I feel terrible that I've never been out there. I know so little about mead, it's embarrassing. I mean, I know the basics of it, but I've never really dove in deep, and it's been one of those things that's kind of on my list for a very long time, to sit down with somebody and talk about what mead is, and kind of, oh god, where it fits into this whole craft beer, craft drink picture. So they're the perfect place to go sit and talk about that. They have just, or I don't know if the ink is dry, that they've signed with a distributor. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about who that distributor is, but you will start seeing them around town, hopefully a little more than what they already are. So that's exciting for them, and hopefully everybody gets out and tries some of their mead, because from what I understand, they're hurting a little bit right now. If you've been watching on social media. Let's see. Greg says, we missed Woodburn's opening. We showed up Saturday after picking up pretzels at Tuba, and we were too early. Did anyone get there? Yes. So I made it. They did a soft opening last week that I made it to, and had an absolute blast. I've been just so desperate for something to happen with Woodburn in the last couple years, after all of kind of the trouble that they had. And it's exciting to see them kind of now part of the March 1st family, and I have complete faith that the beer is going to be fantastic, because we know that they make great beer. So excited to see some of those old recipes come back. If you do get there right now, Solo is on. There's a couple new ones, and then the chocolate cherry stout has a new name, Valraven, I think, and it's great. It brings exactly, your mind goes right back to some of those early memories of some of what those beers were. So they're nailing it, and the space is obviously still beautiful. They took the big brew house out, and that whole kind of that side over there is going to become more seating, kind of a lounge area, and then there's going to be a full kitchen in the very back of that. If you go out onto the patio and then kind of keep looking straight back, there's a little bit of green space that I never really noticed before that they also bought when they bought the brewery. And that's going to be a little beer garden with a stage and probably an outdoor bar. And I mean, it's going to be great. I really love, I love everything about Woodburn. I think it's, the brewery got the shaft in all of this and didn't get what it deserved. They have a strong push right now into the cocktail world, so bigger than what you've seen at any of their other locations so far. I assume that when the Millcroft in Milford, when that opens up, there'll be a nice push for cocktails there too. But Woodburn feels as much like a cocktail bar as it does a brewery, which I think is good. It's hard to, when you take a we'll call it a portfolio of breweries, if you have you start getting a decent amount of tap rooms, it's hard to give them their own personalities and make them kind of stand out from each other. And they've really nailed that with Woodburn, of giving it its own standalone personality, something that satisfies the people who were fans of Woodburn before when they walk in, but then also giving it a great identity in the neighborhood and something that the people in the neighborhood obviously enjoy. So I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. The cocktails are amazing. You guys are gonna like it. Greg said he finally got down to Third Eye. What a great space. They had some of the Doppelbock left, and it was very good. I never got to try that Doppelbock. I need to get there. I don't think I can get there before it's gone. Yeah, especially considering that. So sometimes if I'm doing a show that is close by, sometimes I can stop by somewhere and pick up a beer, either a Crowler or stop and have a pint on the way home after a show. I have a sneaking feeling that driving all the way out to Mount Orab, doing a show, getting in the car and driving all the way back, by the time I get back, it's going to be late. It's just a guess. So it's probably going to be a one-stop night, that's for sure. If they... Greg says if they bring back the Millcroft's jambalaya recipe, I can die happy. Yeah, I don't know what their plan is for the food side of Millcroft. Actually, I do. They partnered up with. If Chris is still on, he can tell us. I think they partnered up with somebody to do the food. See if I can just Google it really quick while we're. They are doing a really incredible job there of kind of keeping the soul of what. Oh, there we go. Nation is using half. So is Nation going to be the only food in the building, I'm assuming, then? I don't know why I couldn't think of Nation before. See, I don't see Nation and jambalaya being part of the same menu. Milford is crazy. I I spent a few years growing up in Milford, and the difference from when I was there back in, I guess, the 90s to what that downtown area is like. So Chris says that they're doing the kitchen on the distillery side, and then Nation will be an independent leaser. So yeah, there'll be 2 restaurants technically. So that's awesome. Anyways, Milford is incredible, especially compared to what it was when I was there. Being able to walk around down there, so that's the other. You can walk around with a beer, which hopefully in the plans for the Millcroft, there better be some kind of a to-go window so you can just walk around with a drink. That's I'm jumping around a little bit on this, but the Lager House, the Moorline Lager House, when they opened their doors back in 2010, something like that, they had these to-go windows on the event side, and I remember talking to somebody about that time. He said, the idea is eventually that maybe you can get a beer and just kind of walk around the park with it. If we can ever figure out how to make that happen. As it is now, maybe special events and things like that will have them open. But it's just kind of a look into the future. And it never really panned out. Even when there's events, you are getting beer from a distributor, so you can't just get it from the to-go window and then walk out there with it. You have beer booths out there. Whereas now, that whole world has changed, and the picture is complete. You can walk up to the window, get a beer, then turn around and go walk around the park, walk around the event lawn. Sorry, you can't walk into the park because whoever decided to do the Dora is a doofus. Dora, the doofus Dora drawing person. I don't know. Milford is doing an incredible job. That's the point of this, and I'm excited to see once the Millcroft is there, and you've got Little Miami right across. Perfect. Chris says we're totally doing a Dora walk-up window. You've got Little Miami across the street, and they're putting in a big event center with another giant patio, and it is just a phenomenal place to hang out. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully, you guys will start seeing some really major construction updates out there now that they are going vertical with it. Yeah. Chris says the Governor. Yes, I've never eaten at the Governor, but I've heard such good things. I need to stop there kind of while I'm at work one of these days and just eat. Anybody with kids or anybody who has had to suffer through the wrath of Dora understands Greg's joke. Dora is a really strange show. So my 4-year-old watches a lot of different shows and likes a lot of different shows and is obsessed with a lot of different shows. But the only show that when she watches it, she kind of locks onto it and just the world around her completely shuts down and she is in like a zone is Dora. And whenever any of those people on Dora tell her to do something, she does it. Like it doesn't matter what they tell her to say, she'll yell it. It can be complete nonsense, and she still yells it no matter what. And if they tell her to run around in circles, she'll run around in circles. If they, it's really, really strange because she doesn't do that with any other shows, even the ones where they're like, where's the bunny? Can you find it? Oh, he's over there. She doesn't care. She doesn't do that. She doesn't point at the thing and tell you, he's hiding behind the tree, except on Dora. It is weird. So I'm pretty convinced that Dora is brainwashing the children. All right, let's start wrapping this up. We are at 50 minutes, and I'm determined one of these days to figure out a way to keep the show a little bit shorter. I don't know why. I mean, there's no rules for this show. It's not a show, so there's no rules. But going to. Everything I hear says that YouTube doesn't like it when your videos are all very different from each other. And most of my videos are like shorter videos, so I'm going to try to start keeping this still a little bit longer, but I have 2 little girls and lift their door twice. Yeah, it's not the worst show that she watches though either. And the humor of it, she knows that she is listening to some things in Spanish. So in her mind, she thinks she can speak Spanish. She tells us that she can speak Spanish, and she knows a couple words. But she then just fills the gaps with complete, like, gibberish and tells us that she's speaking Spanish and thinks that we're not going to catch on that she's not speaking Spanish. All because of Dora. Dora. I don't know what it is. I don't mind it, though. Like, at least the show is not as annoying as... And not that, bubble guppies are annoying. They are just infuriating. All of the inconsistencies drives me crazy. That might be my least favorite of all of her shows. Oh, I think I'd have to really have to put a list together and then rank them all of the most annoying ones. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that'll be my next vlog, is me sitting around not talking about beer, instead talking about annoying kids TV shows. Wouldn't that be exciting? Thank you guys. Stay tuned. This is going to be a really, really fun month for Cincy Brewcast. And hopefully I'll have a couple more videos kind of cranking out here soon. Obviously, Prost every Thursday. We're back to an actual beer this week. A really, really fun beer, too. One that I picked up over at Darkness. Well, they sent it home with me one night when I was down there, so stay tuned for that. Chris says I can collab on that show. I actually, I don't know if it was the last time I had Bobby Slattery on the show or 2 times ago. We had an incredibly in-depth conversation. It had to be a while ago because we had an incredibly in-depth conversation of kids' shows at different stages of the kids' lives and what to watch and what not to watch because of the annoying level. And it was a really, really good conversation. It was fascinating, and I wish I had taken notes from it. He made a comment one time about Barbie, and he's like, yeah, Barbie's a little annoying, but it's actually kind of a good show. Like, it's not bad at all. And I agree. It is. It's not a bad show. I kind of like Barbie. Julia says, a glass of hard liquor in hand, rating kids shows. I'd watch it. All right, well, maybe I'll make that happen. Everybody have a good week. Share all of the content with your friends, please. That is the way all of this keeps growing. I hope everybody enjoyed the Nomi packages, the Patreon swag. There is more coming in the near future. So I have 2 kind of exclusive pieces of swag that I'm either debating on which one to go with, or maybe if I can convince my wife to dump some money into all of this, maybe we'll do both. I don't know. And I have this long-term goal of, so a lot of my swag is drop shipped. It's you put the order in, it's made somewhere else and goes right to you when you order it. I'm long-term goal of getting some of that in stock here so that cut back on some of the shipping and some of the costs and make some cooler stuff for you guys. So we'll see. We'll see what I can convince her is a good idea or not. She puts up with a lot, you guys. We'll be back. Thank you guys. I'm gonna go finish my beer. Cheers, everybody.